Hello there, Sean Huggan here. Great to be with you here again. Hey, I just had a bit of a thought over the last couple of minutes, and I thought to share that with you. And that is a thought in regard to, everything that Jesus did when he was on earth was with purpose, right? There is nothing that Jesus did that wasn't for a good, solid, important, teachable reason. And one of those things that he did, which had a great reason behind it, was that of the act of sacrifice. And I've been thinking a little bit about sacrifice. I was reading Hebrews 13 before, and it talks a little bit about the way that we sacrifice before God, the way that we sacrifice for one another, or the ways that we should be doing that. And I went straight to Jesus. My thoughts went straight to the cross and what Jesus did for us, what he did on behalf of those of us who accept him as Christ, accept him as Messiah, and are followers of Christ, right? He went to the cross as an act of sacrifice, the greatest act of sacrifice that anybody in the history of forever has ever done. And so it made me think that is the epitome of what sacrifice looks like. That is the greatest example for us to follow, for us to look at. It meant losing something so that someone else could gain something. And in that particular act of sacrifice, Jesus lost his own life so that we could gain eternal life. Right? Of course, Jesus rose, but that didn't take away the torture, the pain, the punishment that he actually had to go through in order for us to be able to be made right with God. So that no longer would we be eternally separated from our Father, but that we would have the chance to live with him in his glory, in his eternal gladness forever. So that begs the question, what are we like when it comes to sacrifice? I know I can be very inconsistent. I know I'm not always great in this area. Sometimes I am. But for me, it always depends on how I'm feeling. Don't feel like it today. Not up for that today. Which is sometimes when the greatest sacrifices take place. I don't feel like doing it, but I want to do it in honor of God and out of love for these people as well. Sacrifice is one of the hardest things to do. Sacrifice and forgiveness. These are some of the hardest things that we have to do. But as Christians, we don't do it because we're forced to. We don't do it because we religiously think we have to. We do it because Jesus Christ first did it for us. And Jesus Christ so loves us that he died in our place as an act of sacrifice so that we could be forgiven for things that we don't deserve forgiveness for. And if God could forgive the worst in us and every minute little thing that we have ever done, if he could forgive that in us, then who are we to hold grudges against anybody else? If you accept forgiveness for yourself, then you ought to be forgiving other people. And as Jesus sacrificed for us, we ought to be sacrificing for other people. Now that can be financially, could be physically, it could be mentally, it could be with time, whatever it might be. As Jesus first sacrificed for us, we too ought to sacrifice as well. Sacrifice for God, sacrifice for one another. So God bless you. Just a short little message on that today. Have a good one.